Peace of mind, true inner security. Acronis simplifies IT, unifying security, backup, automation, and management into one seamless flow. At the heart of it all, the Acronis ecosystem, with over 300 trusted technology partners, from RMMs and PSAs to cybersecurity and cloud, every tool, every integration in perfect harmony. Our ecosystem keeps growing. Partners can request new integrations and shape the future.
Welcome aboard Acronis Ultimate M365. Please pay attention to the most complete 7-in-1 M365 protection. Malicious emails are not allowed on any M365 seat. Remember to securely store all backups, archive emails, and protect collaboration apps. Maintain good security posture at all times. Now it will be a good time for you to pass security awareness training. All of these and more are available in a single UI. Thank you for your attention. You're now free to grow your MSP.
Goals, speed, stats, telemetry, hits and misses. Matches are won or lost by fractions of a second when everything is on the line. Data is as native to modern sports as practice and teamwork. In sports, just like in the world of business, the team with the best data wins. And the best way to protect all that native data is with natively integrated security and data protection solutions, where everything is working together seamlessly as one. It's no wonder that some of the top sports teams in the world team up with Acronis to keep all that data safe. Acronis natively integrated security. It's the best way to win.
AI has changed the world in ways we don't yet fully understand. New possibilities, new expectations, new uncertainty. No one knows exactly what the future of software or managed services will look like. But every new era is built by those willing to embrace it. Together, we turn uncertainty into opportunity. Together, we begin the journey to autonomous IT. Welcome to Acronis Accelerate.
Good morning, everybody. My name is James Abercrombie, and I'd like to welcome you to the second edition of Acronis Accelerate. I'm extremely thrilled to be the host on this journey to autonomous IT. And I'd like to thank you all for joining us from across the globe, those of you here in person, as well as those who have dialed in. I'd also like to give a special shout out to our exclusive event partners, Fortinet, Seagate, Equinix, Intel, Google Cloud, and Pax8. I'd like to ask you all to take a second, scan the QR code, and have a look at this page. This page will be all of the information, all of the relevant resources, all of the next steps that you will need when you hear something that catches your attention today. Whether it be registering for our third edition of Acronis Accelerate on October 14th, or getting a demo of Cyberframe, or building with Constructor Fabric, or just gaining access to our AI service desk. This QR code will provide you with everything you need moving forward. Now, to kick off the conversation, our first speaker will share the challenges of this new AI transformation era. Then he will dive into how this impacts and what it truly means for partners like you who are looking to lead with AI. Please join me in welcoming to the stage the Acronis CEO, Mr. Jan-Jaap Jager.
Thank you, James. Hello, everyone. I'm really glad to be on stage again. You know, it feels like almost yesterday. Although May is 2 months ago, a lot has happened in the last 2 months, especially in the AI space. New models have been launched, new investments, new breakthrough innovations and tools and services that all could be very interesting for the future. In May, we shared our vision. In May, we talked about what is the future direction of Acronis, especially around AI. Very high level, very theoretically. Today, I'm very excited to actually start showing you what we have produced over the last 2 months and tell you what the journey is to autonomous IT. But before I do that, I would like to highlight 4 major forces that is now making this AI era very interesting for all of us that we need to take into account, that are important for you as MSPs and for us as Acronis. Let me start with the first one. AI is changing the world in the way nobody has ever understood yet. This is important because if you look 12 months ago and you would ask yourselves, what do you think AI will have in 12 months? I bet that more than anybody here would not be able to judge what actually has been delivered over the last 12 months. Things move very, very fast. This is also one of the biggest challenges that we are facing. You know, some of the major new companies that are in this particular space that are now making tens of billions of dollars, there were no companies really significantly a couple of years back. Even though it's not the first time that we go through this whole transformational part, like for example, the transformation from on-premise to the cloud, the things that AI will make different is the speed. But there are also uncertainties. For example, the CEO of Anthropic mentioned very clearly is that researchers do not really understand the AI systems they build. That's a concern. This is also correlated towards what's the strategy that an MSP needs to have. The strategy of an MSP cannot be that you sit and wait, see what's going to happen in the market, and then adopt when everything is settled down. Then you're kind of too late. The strategy can also not be that you try to do whatever comes towards you. As already mentioned, in the last 2 months, we have seen more innovations, more new things, new models, new investments in AI than ever before. The amount of money that is invested in this particular space is incredible. And that means you need to find the right balance. You need to find the right balance, and the winning success factor is making sure that you're on top of things, testing it, making sure that you understand what is going on, and then make quickly, based on the learnings that you have, decisions on how it can help you. The second major factor is AI is changing the way we build and operate software. It is incredible to see that some of the major vendors in the market, like for example Microsoft and Google, are producing already more than 30% of their code based on AI. Even us, Acronis. Over the last 7 months, we have increased the efficiency of generating code with more than 50%. 50% more code generation doesn't always mean 50% more efficiency. This is also where we still are struggling with, because the majority of the engineers are also saying, I do not completely trust what AI is generating. So governance, check, accountability, and control is even more important than ever before, even though we're betting on AI. It's interesting that this is not something new towards us. You see here hosting companies on it. They went through 25 years ago to this transformation as well, where the whole IT world was changed because we went from on-premise to a cloud infrastructure. Applications had to be changed. The way how we do business on not one-time 3-year upfront and monthly payments was introduced. This was a major shift, but that shift took 25 years and it's still not completely implemented. The major difference right now that we see in AI is that this shift is just like any other shift, with one difference. It moves so incredibly fast. The opportunity here also for MSPs is not only automation. The opportunity for an MSP here is becoming an expert, a trustworthy advisor towards the MSPs, because that's what you are today. But there are some differences that we're going to talk about more today as well. The third major element is that AI is making hardware and infrastructure completely more expensive. And in some cases, it is so crazy that the demand for server, for memory, for data centers, for electricity is going out of hand. And it's not stopping today. We as Acronis have more than 50 data centers around the world. And even we feel it. We feel it that in the last 12 months, our costs of operating our infrastructure for you as MSPs has increased by 60% on our general hardware purchases that we do for our data center. And guess what? If you have 50 data centers, those are big amounts. But what we have in a very large scale is what MSPs have also in a smaller scale. You have exactly the same pressure, because your growth models that you had in the past was very simple. You win a new customer, you make sure that you have your technicians, resources available, and you buy the hardware that serves your new customer. That growth model is not the same anymore, because your hardware expenses are increasing.
Customers are now moving from an experimental phase to actually, I would like to implement. This is what I do in my business. Can you help me change my operations and manage my AI agents or infrastructure or workflows that I would like to implement in my business? That's what we see. And it's now about 50% based on average research, but it will increase even more. Which means also that an MSP needs to change their business model. Because today you manage IT. But if people or customers of an MSP would like to implement AI, this is not infrastructure alone. Sure, you need to manage the infrastructure, the AI agents, autonomous or manually, but you need to think about, okay, how is this AI agent going to be effective for a service provider or for an end customer? Which means you need to understand how the business operates. That's a change. That's a change of way of thinking. And today, most of the MSPs, like yourself, they use AI, but still based on the simple, I have a question, or can you analyze, can you have a look at this? Only 10% is agentic AI autonomous automation. And that is mostly for internal usage, not even talking about what you do for your external customers. This is the opportunity. This is where I believe, and based on many of the conversations I had over the last couple of months with service providers, and I had many, what they would like to do. Become a trustworthy advisor towards their clients that besides the classical infrastructure, they can also supply autonomous IT services towards the vendors. So what's the conclusion here? I think the conclusion here is that really nobody knows what is going to happen in the next couple of years. This is a major challenge. That means I can also not tell you what the future will begin or where it will go to. But what I do know is that the direction that we have to go together is the direction of how we become autonomous, how we are actually adopting in a very easy way the different type of technologies that AI can help you to be more efficient. This, from reactive to automation to intelligence to autonomous IT, is where we would like to help with our platform. The foundation of cyber cloud that we have built up over the years and now have changed towards the AI foundation is something that you will see actually usable products that can help you to drive that next step to autonomous IT. And that's why I'm also excited to be together with you on that journey. So today, I'm very excited to show some more practical examples over the next couple of sessions on how this foundation and the products that we built on top of that foundation looks like. James, back to you.
Thank you, JJ. You're absolutely right. AI is indeed changing the way that we build. So let's embrace it and dive deeper into the new way to build with Acronis founder and chief constructor of Constructor Group, Mr. Serge Bell.
Excited to be here. Thank you, Acronis. Thank you, JJ, for inviting me. Just wanted to remind the partners, I left Acronis CEO position. I'm still second largest shareholder, and I have a board seat. But my main focus is Constructor Group. Constructor Group was founded exactly when I left Acronis in 2021, and it is 3 pillars which are supporting a single mission, leveraging computing, software, and robotics to make scientists, teachers, and students more efficient, more effective. Of course, as what we do with my co-founders for the past 33 plus years is we mostly build software platforms for specific vertical segments. We build parallels where our users were hosters and cloud service providers and cloud brokers. We built Acumatica where end customer were people in accounting departments, and we participated in building and built Acronis, which is the platform for managed service providers. And with Constructor, the main part of it is another vertical platform now for scientists, teachers, and students, for science research and education. And so this is a main pillar. Another software company, already 350 people, already 200 universities are using our software, over 100 corporates, 2,000 schools globally, over 2 million students, 20,000 teachers, and 2,000 scientists. This is very, very early. It always takes very long to build platforms. And that's probably the reason for my speech. The second part of it is Constructor Knowledge. Primarily, it is Constructor University Bremen with 3,000 students on campus and around 50,000 students online. We focus on the things we know best, which is software engineering, computer science, AI, physics, and business. We are #1 private university in Germany. We are #2 international university in the world, and our goal is to be top 100 university of the world within less than 7 years from now. Any of you are welcome to send your employees or children. It's 100% in English, 120 countries, amazing campus in Bremen. Come and visit. Third part of our new vision is Constructor Capital, which is just an investment company investing in the trends we understand deep tech, like quantum computers. We're investor in #1 quantum computing company of the world, which is called Quera, based in MIT, Harvard, and Boston. And of course, software technology and knowledge technology, which is a technology used by customers of Constructor. All of these pillars work together. But I'm not here about this today. I'm here about what we're facing. One thing why things are happening in such a crazy way, because humanity is just about intelligence, and AI is about intelligence. And we keep hearing that there will be soon artificial general intelligence and even super intelligence. It is kind of very confusing. In 2020, we were using AI in Acronis for over 10 years, and in some way, GPT was invented in 2018, and GPT-3 appeared. It was already on the radar. It was not very clear how great it would be. And the forecast for AGI was 2045. Not so scary. Most of us might not think that long. Then in 2025, they say this AGI will be before 2033. And we have Claude Code, which is suddenly much bigger and better than OpenAI. Who would expect that? Some smaller company started later. Every developer of the world is using AI, and many people became developers because of AI. And in 2026, we have many people noticing very unusual events happening, such as CTO of large companies like Workday or like Salesforce, leaving their positions and joining as individual contributors in Anthropic because of their belief that AI is going to change the world through AGI. Well, we don't know if this is going to happen. We do know that for sure Claude and generally and LLMs already significantly disrupted office work. And we certainly know that this is amazing, but we believe ARR of Claude is over, Anthropic is over 50 billion. And that is 10x more than the same time last year. There has never been a company in the history of mankind which went from 5 billion to 50 billion of ARR within just 1 year through organic growth. And we also know that perhaps AGI is not coming as soon, but definitely already since several weeks, months, everything's happening as quickly. AI is becoming helpful in solving new problems in biotechnology, in mathematics, and in physics. So that's one thing. And another thing which is important is AI is difficult to control. And generally, AI gives even more power to open source because, if you think about open source, it was a sort of coined in 1998. People started talking about them. It wasn't when it was created, but it was created maybe 15 years earlier, but it was instrumental to internet revolution, which, JJ just spoke about. LAMP powered the internet, enabled companies like GoDaddy, like Equinix, and many other companies to make money. By 2008, open source was so powerful that almost every new hardware platform was actually using open source. Android and Linux are open source. LAMP stack is used all over cloud companies. Even Microsoft is running on a LAMP stack right now. They are no longer fighting this trend. Kubernetes is a primary way for us to manage infrastructure. VS Code, which is Visual Studio successor, is open source, and you can actually extend it. And many other things, even in the service provider industry like OpenStack. In general, there is a very good fit of any open source towards rapid technology shifts. And for sure, we have rapid or almost ultra rapid change in technology. AI drives change in hardware, in middleware, in applications, in scenarios, in networks. And open source can address it in much better, much faster way. And that is, in addition to that, amplified by the fact that AI can now read the source of open source better than read APIs of the binary code, and it can contribute into open source. And in addition to that, AI is something which is much harder to control than software. Software is also sort of intelligence. And controlling software is always challenging for regulators because, the third-party vendors can put some stuff in their code which is hard to check, but it's even harder to check AI. And so there is a drive toward open source. With that, there is another thing to address. If you read the media over the past 3 years, there is a constant discussion that there will be no developers anymore. There was even discussions, and as I'm involved in science research and education, that there shouldn't be computer science and software engineering in the universities because there is no more need for software engineers. There is enough of software engineers. This will all be done by AI. That not always happened this way. The cars, planes, trains, they make transportation much more powerful, but there is only more people who drive by the factor of 10,000 just in the United States. If you think about automating software development process, it is not something very new. It has started in the 70s. There were many computer-aided design tools. And then in 2000s, when there was this huge demand for new software driven by internet, there was a sprawl of different things like graphical user interfaces with code generation, unified modeling language, different special frameworks like Ruby on Rails, many discussions about low-code and zero-code environments, and many, many other things. However, all of this is sort of become less important just to research again in 2024, where everybody started talking about the fact that any of you can become developer and just use agentic coding and code whatever task you need to code. There is again huge discussion what it means for software companies. For sure, AI puts IT jobs under strain. Not necessarily that it eliminates the jobs, but people will have to reskill and need to think about how to reorganize, considering that now not only there is less developers, but every employee, every person can become developer with the help of AI. I do think that this whole idea of the fact that there will be no coding is wrong. Humans need much more code. Just to make a system equal to a human, equal to any of us, I believe there is maybe 10,000 to 1,000,000 times more code needed to be written in a very good way as in any largest modern operating system. So we are very far from enough code. And what we're hitting today is more of a bottleneck of hardware. There is not enough hardware. It is too expensive. Coding is becoming too expensive. And so with that, we started a new project. It was started about a year ago, and it was started between Acronis, Constructor, and Virtuoso. It's completely open source, and we want to build guardrails, metrics, optimization for AI software development. Kind of just like a government for a country which needs to be open and democratic, but should allow you to function in a very good way. That's my country. I'm Singaporean, and we're well known for the best possible governance, which effectively enables us to be the richest country in the world. So if you think about the problems in coding with AI, there is many problems. First of all, everybody notices in the last 3 months, especially in the last 2 months, that the AI is skyrocketing cost of AI tokens. People seeing some productivity increases, but they're seeing doubling of the AI spend months on months, and that spend can very quickly, like everything doubling, can become uncontrollable. Instead of spending money on your developers, you will end up spending money on AI. In addition to that, there is more and more complaints, and when it comes to a larger and consistent code basis, when it comes to making a code professional, it is very difficult to control the code which is generated by AI. The AI generates and regenerates and rewrites code, and it's hard for humans to understand. And so with that in mind, we first started Constructor Studio, which is a set of guardrails for AI software development, which allows companies like Acronis, much smaller Virtuoso, much younger Constructor, and companies with 10, 100 people to create consistent and fully controlled code bases. And then we had to realize that we have to add 2 other components to our vision for the fabric. One component is a Constructor Insight, which is a system allowing you to objectively measure productivity of your developers yet system administrators and employees. It becomes very difficult to manage. You know, developers can generate a lot of code, but is it the same kind of code? Is it sparse code? Is it rewritten many times? There is also huge jump in the growth of cost of development systems and production systems. Everybody is seeing that this generated code, it needs to be executed, it needs to be built, it needs to be tested. And so to further optimize it, the third component of Constructor Fabric is Constructor Gears. Constructor Gears is a set of optimized libraries which are open source but available also in binary, which can be used to build great platforms and great infrastructure software in such a way that it stays reliable, performant, secure, efficient, and will have control and proper versatility. So it was started about 11 months ago. Whenever you govern huge opportunity well, it is likely that you can become very successful. That's just successes of my country. So now we have around 50 contributors in this project. Between Acronis, Virtuoso, Constructor, several third-party, we have around 500 developers using Constructor Fabric. It is open source. And you know, the founders are Acronis, Constructor, and Virtuoso. All of us have service providers in mind. We were successful with service providers. We started with applications as service providers as far back as 1999. And so everything we built, think about companies like yours, we have a target to get to about 500 contributors, 150 full-time contributors. So it's a serious project with a lot of value, which is designed for employees, developers like yours to immediately start using and contributing. And that is our ultimate goal. We don't want to conquest the world. We don't compete with Anthropic. We rather want to create a set of guardrails which would allow to cover all key roles in software development lifecycle, allowing to leverage this opportunity for each of you to automate your work with software development and AI. And so covering all these roles like software architecture, very important now because that could be very easily broken with AI, product management, development management, DevOps, and quality assurance. And so we have reasonably ambitious goals. There is 50 million developers in the world today. We want to have 1 million developers and using Constructor Fabric to develop their code bases, medium-sized code bases, by the end of 2027. And we think that we can get very significant number of developers coming from service providers. Service providers is a great, amazing, but always underserved segment, and we are focused on you guys. So what do you do now with this? You can learn about Constructor Fabric. You can develop using it today. You can contribute. Join us to customize, integrate, and extend with Acronis. Acronis is using it. Several new projects in Acronis are based on Constructor Fabric. Acronis is not open source. Constructor Fabric is open source, but because the underlying structure is the same, it is much easier to extend, customize, and integrate Acronis with Constructor Fabric. It's very easy to learn. At the end of the day, we provide software for education, next generation education. It is very easy to explore now. If you come, get certified, you can get pre-configured development environment after the training course and can start developing. Environment is based on Cyberframe, something which is amazingly available for all of the Acronis partners through their partner program. And you know, also we hope to get your contributions. Contribution could be as easy as ideas and as feedback, but could also be you writing code. Now with AI, all of you can make your people to be able to develop in a controlled way and also to contribute to our overall success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Serge. Now that we all know how AI impacts the way that software is built and governed, I'd like to point out that that software still needs efficient, secure infrastructure. And to address that concern, dialing all the way in from Seattle, Washington, former CEO of VMware, Mr. Paul Maritz.
Thank you, James. As many of you may know, I was the chairman of the board at Acronis for several years, so it's good to be joining you again today. This is a particularly interesting time in infrastructure. We've just come off 15 plus years of the pendulum swinging towards the cloud and the hyperscalers. And now we, of course, have the AI revolution going on. And I think this is going to actually lead to the pendulum swinging back towards more distributed infrastructure and a greater source of clouds for us to use. The AI revolution is really just getting started. We haven't really seen the full impact of it yet. One of the things that's going to happen is the emergence of a large number of custom applications specifically developed for each business. AI dramatically improves the productivity of development and widens up the number of people who can partake in development. So as you can see from the prices of various SaaS stocks in the world today, there is the growing belief that we're going to see custom applications being developed specifically for each business. Now, this means there's going to be many more applications that have to run somewhere. At the same time, we're seeing the emergence of a new class of smaller but highly capable large language models. It's not just the Chinese who are doing this, but you're seeing this happen with, for instance, NVIDIA's Nematron family of models. NVIDIA's putting in a tremendous amount of effort into providing not just open weight models, but open data models, and at a variety of sizes. We're also seeing Apple and Google working very hard to produce models that they eventually want to run on handheld devices. So we're going to see in the AI future not just these large hyper models that run in the hyperscaler clouds, but also models that run over a variety of infrastructure. At the same time, there are growing concerns about sovereignty in the AI world. If your apps are becoming incredibly dependent upon underlying AI capabilities, it becomes important as to who controls the models and where they run and where they store their data. And a lot of enterprises and governments are now looking for options to allow them to keep control over their data and their applications, which is going to further increase the demand for infrastructure choices. Now, we've all seen the concern in the security space that the Claude Mythos model introduced a few weeks ago. Well, the reality is these open weight models coming out of a variety of other sources are also going to get their capability in the coming months. So we're going to have tremendous tools in the hands of not just the good guys, but the bad guys. And this is going to further increase the premium that's going to be placed upon having effective security for all applications independent of where they're running. Now, what does this all mean for MSPs? Obviously, if you ignore all of these changes, you're going to be increasingly confined to servicing the legacy applications. But on the other hand, there's a tremendous opportunity here. If you can become a trusted advisor and provide support for these new applications and the new opportunities for infrastructure, that means there's a real opportunity to become a trusted advisor and generate new revenue streams from your customers. To do this, Acronis has introduced CyberFrame, which is a cloud offering designed for MSPs and designed to be sold through MSPs. It's an integrated platform that has not only infrastructure, backup, disaster recovery, and security, and remote access all baked into it, as well as automation. That means that you get an integrated platform, a comprehensive solution that's easy to manage, and which you can offer to your customers that offers a great migration path forward from where they are today. This, of course, means that you change your relationship to your customers, you become a trusted advisor, and that opens up opportunities for new recurring revenue streams. So I encourage you to take a close look at CyberFrame because I think it's a tremendous opportunity for MSPs as we go forward. Some of you may also know that I have in my past, I was the CEO of VMware for 5 years, and unfortunately, VMware has been sinning of late, and a lot of you probably know that they've dramatically raised their prices to almost unsustainable levels. This really is putting a premium on providing your customers with choices going forward, giving them the option to migrate from VMware to much lower cost solutions, for instance, based on OpenStack and KVM, which lie at the heart of CyberFrame and from which you can get as well from the Acronis family of companies. So, very interesting times. It's great to be with you again. And James, back to you.
Thank you so much, Paul. Now, let's explore how easy it can truly be to move these workloads to CyberFrame. Please welcome Mr. Yuri Averkeep to the stage.
Hello, everyone. And today we will walk you through several demos of AI-driven automation across business and technical operations for MSPs. But first, I want to start with a different kind of demo of automation. Over the past 6 months, we have spoken with hundreds of MSPs. Many of us have VMware, and many of them are interested in migration to CyberFrame. So this is what Acronis Cyber Migration is designed for. Getting started is very easy. You connect to your VMware environment, you pick VMs that you want to move, and you start. A migration wizard handles single VM migration or multiple ones with the same ease. What's important, we are not only migrating the data, we are also migrating configuration. Network, storage, IP addresses, MAC addresses. You are not starting from scratch on the CyberFrame side. Everything is migrated. Data moves directly and incrementally from VMware to CyberFrame, and your virtual machines will continue to run during migration. And you can track migration progress in Cyber Console, where you are with the progress. If anything requires your attention, everything is in the console, so there is no need for you to dig through the logs. And at the end, cutover is very fast because all we need to transfer is a small delta. So once VM has been transferred to CyberFrame, it's ready to be up and running. Almost done. So this migration capability, shipping in September, giving MSPs faster, simpler way to migrate from VMware and other hypervisors to CyberFrame. Back to you, James.
Thank you, Yuri. Now, to get an actual partner's perspective from an actual operator, please welcome Mr. Jürgen Weiss, Head of Operations at ARIS and CISO at Sigma Vista.
Thank you, James. Great to be here. Yeah, as James introduced me, I'm from Sigma Vista. We are a data center provider in Austria and a very long relationship, partnership with Acronis for over 2 decades. CyberFrame. So the current enterprise platforms leave an MSP to build a multi-tenancy backup, disaster recovery, billing, support ourselves before we can even sell it first. CyberFrame is the first infrastructure platform I've seen built starting from our business model as full service provider and not adapted from someone else. Multi-tenancy, white label, protecting and management are already integrated, and we don't need to glue X tools together. And the numbers back this up. We have a gross margin of 65% over the past and 180% in a three-year return on investment on a 5-node deployment. About 40% lower TCO than legacy platforms. And in my role as CISO, just imagine you have 50 plus data centers that you can use to meet the compliance needs of the European regulatory when it comes to Cyber Resilience Act, AI Act, and NIS2 regulation. And this is what I'm currently having on the table on a daily basis. Yeah? Every AI workload, every automation my customer asks for next runs on top of whatever I choose here. If I don't control my foundation, I don't control the servers I built on it and the margin that comes with it. So I can start CyberFrame Cloud by tomorrow without any hardware investments, and I can move to CyberFrame Local once volume and sovereignty requirements justify owning the stack myself. For MSPs,
or CyberFrame as an underlying infrastructure is going to be used by MSPs. CyberFrame is probably a little bit easier, but Cyber Fabric is how we make that infrastructure usage more simpler. But today, Yuri and I are on a stage because we would like to talk about what is built on top of that you actually can use instantly and will help you to drive that efficiency, not only in the long term, but especially also in the short term. So let's go into some exciting examples here. Let's start with Cyber Console. So Cyber Console is where you start your work every day. You open your console, you see where you are with your customers, what is installed, what is used, what alerts do you see, what are the technical challenges that you have. And you work with that every day. But it's very much focused on the technical aspect of your environment, not so much the business. Also, in the past, it was very much most on your technical engineers, your technicians that were working with the platform, not how agentic AI or agents will work with the platform as well. This is what we're changing with Cyber Console. Cyber Console will be the first major platform that includes 3 major elements. Clear your classical technician way of how you work with the platform and what you would need to do on a daily basis. But it now also integrates of how you can manage your AI workflows, your AI agents. And you bring your technicians and AI agents together
to have a much more efficient operating model. Not only that, the business always have 2 parts, technical and commercial. Cyber Console will now also completely integrate the business aspect of your business. Your marketing, your sales, your different roles that you have in BDRs, etc. All of them are now part of the console. So not only you can tactical manage your customers, but you can also now see how your business is performing, where you have opportunities, and how the intelligence of this whole platform comes together and works together. Yuri, why don't you bring the Cyber Console to life?
So with Cyber Console, we are bridging together business, technical, and partner program operations into single AI-ready experience. And we are using AI-first development frameworks to build Cyber Console. For example, Constructor Fabric, which was just presented earlier today. It makes every capability faster, smarter, natively connected. And we are designing the console for the ways how MSP operate. Everything at the reach of your fingertips at a one click away. Assets, policies, alerts, workflows, everything is connected together. And everything is easy to find through AI-powered global search, which will come up in this demo in a moment. You will be able to navigate anywhere in the console, find the object you are looking for, or start LLM chat with Acronis AI in a matter of seconds. Under the hood, it's not a simple AI assistant quickly bolted on. It's agent orchestration at the platform level, where we have multiple purpose-built agents working together, executing complex tasks using shared context and shared governance. And with Cyber Console, it bridges 2 worlds, and in a way it bridges 2 eras. First one is traditional UI way of working with consoles, and then new agentic first model with agents handling routine tasks and handing over more complex operations to technicians. And you will be able to freely move between those 2 modes. So this is Cyber Console, where autonomous IT comes to life. And what I want to mention, we already have a clickable prototype on acronis.com. Please visit and provide your feedback. Back to you, JJ.
Thank you, thank you. So what you just see is a little bit different. In May, I talked about that you cannot just bolt AI on top of it and put a management layer that will try to manage different types of services that are independently connected to the AI engine. We decided to change that and make the foundation on how we would like to build our products. That means that if you would add a new feature or product like console and that we have developed, when the foundation is already there, it would be much easier to add new versions and software solutions on top of that and integrate it that are completely connected towards this platform. So it's a workspace designed around AI that will help you to be running your modern workspace for the future. But there's one question. If you bring everything together, some people can be overwhelmed with the amount of data and information that comes out of those systems. You ask yourself the question, what do I focus on? What do I focus on first? Now that all the technical and also the business information comes together and we'll have some output and data. Here's where we are going to introduce something very interesting, and it's cyber intelligence. Cyber intelligence, as already announced 2 months ago in our event, is part of the foundation. Now that we have implemented the console and putting everything together, cyber intelligence can do now a much more better job. As I mentioned, it is not just reporting in a dashboard. It is actually taking all of this information and making correlations, summarizing it better for you and your technicians to make sure that they can save time on how they operate on a daily basis. This intelligence is not only about reporting and showing, but is actually making suggestions where to focus, where the opportunity is, where issues might arise, and also how you can solve them. Not only how you can solve them, but also autonomously how it can be fixed already automatically, if you decide to do so. Yuri, maybe show how that works.
Of course. And out of the box, cyber intelligence includes a rich set of dashboards and reports that you can use right away. But it's not just a beautiful reports and dashboards, it's also about analyzing the data, securely, privately. And first, business crucial numbers. Number of opportunities in front of you, number of workloads, how they change. It helps you to spot upsell opportunities. It helps you to identify issues like customers who are about to churn. Or another example, licensing, usually complicated and time-consuming, especially in case of Microsoft. Cyber intelligence included this dashboard which analyzes your customer licensing usage and advises you how many licenses we would need in the future. Second, the technical picture. Beyond just workloads, patches, backups, together with AI, what kind of dashboards and reports you want to see, and the rest will be done for you automatically. And above all, cyber intelligence, it does not just show you the past or present. There is predictive AI, which tells you what is coming next and what to do about it. Back to you, JJ.
Thank you, Yuri. So cyber intelligence tells you where to focus on and how to execute this. But it doesn't take away that you still have your daily activities that you need to do, your tickets that come in, and other alerts that you need to process. That can be still very inefficient. Just imagine, Monday morning, I think a lot of people will agree with me, you come into the office, you open your console, and the first thing you see is that over the weekend, there was an issue. Thousands alerts, multiple tickets from multiple customers because something has happened. What do you do as a technician? You're gonna go dig in and trying to figure out what the problem is. You will figure it out. And you can find out also that there's a correlation between the issues because one customer had the same issue as the other customer. You do it one by one. You close one ticket at a time. You solve one alert at a time. That's not efficient. With Acronis Service Desk, we are going to help with that. Acronis Service Desk, what it does, over the weekend already, with the help with cyber intelligence, we can already see what comes in. Or we can already see that there is an issue with the infrastructure that will create alerts or that will create potentially tickets that are going to be created. The tickets that are created have maybe a history because it's not the first time that it happens. Because of Service Desk and the combination with intelligence, on the foundation level, we can pull in the history. We can see if it happens before and how you have solved it in the past. And what Service Desk does then is the AI agentic way of solving this issue autonomously. It can make suggestions already of how to solve this issue because you have known it before. You've seen the correlation between multiple customers that had the same issue that you can then already recommend how to solve it. So you don't solve it individually one by one. No, you come in, you open your dashboard, service desk will tell you, this is an issue, I found a solution, would you like to solve it? Yes. So instead of spending time on trying to figure out how to solve it, you just click on a button, run, solve it for me. That's still manually. But the route to autonomous is that you can actually decide to say, why wait? It can be already done for this particular category of issues that the AI agent will solve it autonomously for you. This is what Service Desk is all about. Yuri, show us how Monday morning looks like.
Of course. In reality, the story starts on Friday. On Friday evening, when the same alert occurred multiple times across different workloads, across several client environments. And Acronis Service Desk automatically correlated those alerts into a single ticket. So in case the same issue occurs multiple times, we don't create multiple tickets. We put them in a single ticket. And inside the ticket, the context is already there. The clients affected, workloads, alerts are already linked inside, all the technical logs are collected. So the information is there to start an investigation. And based on that information, Acronis AI summarizes the issue and identifies possible root causes. And all this is done in a matter of seconds instead of technicians spending 20, 30 minutes doing investigation manually. From there, AI prepares a resolution plan, and AI agents execute it autonomously, performing actions, analyzing results, adapting next steps, and validating the outcomes. And this is done within boundaries you define. Technician always stays in control what is done automatically and autonomously, and what needs to be hands-off to a technician. And every action is recorded. So what agent checked, what it did, and why it did it, everything is reviewable at any time. So there is a complete audit logging and traceability. So once resolved, this ticket is closed. And when technician comes to the office on Monday morning, all he sees is that the ticket is closed. And he can focus on something which matters. And this is how Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and all the other mornings of the week should look like. Back to you, JJ.
Thank you. You've now just seen how Acronis agents execute an AI workflow that you have defined through multiple ways. But when I showed this towards our partners, our MSPs, over the last couple of weeks, they said, oh, it's great. It solves some portion of my business. And they always say, but we are unique. We're an MSP, we're different than anybody else. We have special customers. We have a special segment that is not comparable to anybody else. My process is different. My risk profile with my customers are higher or lower. I cannot have standardization in my company because I would like to have a manual intervention. Yuri already mentioned there is some way that you can customize it. But there's another level. Every MSP, I agree, is different. And we want to make sure that you are in control of building your own AI workflows that fits your business. This is where Cyber Studio comes into play. In May, we announced it, and today we can show you how it looks like. What does it do? Cyber Studio is so simple that with just standard natural language, you can say what kind of workflow you would integrate and how your agents should be created. And in that way, you can create your workflows and your agents to take care of the business of how you would like to create it. Yes, Cyber Studio has tons of predefined agents that you can download today that takes over certain specific tasks, and some of them you already saw. And yes, they have a lot of workflows that you can also take and then customize based on your needs. But the beauty is, you are in control. You decide of how you create your agents. And now the beauty comes. As already mentioned, the true value is not yourself and your own efficiency and how you operate your business, but how are you creating a new business for your service providers or for your customers as a service provider? How can you create an AI agent that helps your customer to simplify their operations, their recurring tasks that doesn't have to pay attention with a physical person, but that you can take over and manage for them. That's the true value where Cyber Studio can make a difference. Yuri, show us how it works.
Absolutely. So Cyber Studio, this is your agentic AI shaped and deployed the way you run your business. So in this particular demo, Acronis AI identified 14 EDR incidents across multiple tenants. And you don't start from a blank canvas. Acronis AI proposes a whole workflow. In this particular case, what it's proposing: investigate an incident, determine severity, remediate it, and log the outcome in a service desk ticket. And the last step is very important, because if action is not safe, if it's not safe to run autonomously, or severity is high, the agent hands off to a technician. And to adjust the workflow, just like JJ mentioned, you ask in a plain language what kind of changes you want to make to your workflow. And Cyber Studio applies those changes to workflow automatically, does the changes in the right places. And when you're done creating a workflow, you approve it and enable it. So again, nothing runs until in a client environment unless technician has approved it. And there is always a record. What was changed, what was published, who made the changes. And if you need to roll back, to a previous version, you can do it in a matter of seconds. And just like with Service Desk, there is complete traceability built into Acronis Cyber Studio. What AI had done, what kind of changes it made, what kind of object it accessed. So this is Cyber Studio coming in September with, like you just said, tons of agents, as well as ability to create your custom agents. Back to you, JJ.
Thank you, Yuri. So the last 4 solutions that you saw are very much focused on how do you make your operations from a technical perspective very efficient. But what Jürgen also mentioned on stage already is that there's a true partnership also between the MSP and Acronis. We have a partner program that we're very proud of, that has won multiple awards also over the years. Is how we engage with our partners, and like the title of this event, how we help partners also to accelerate from a commercial perspective. Today, our partner program is separate. It's not connected towards our system, our central core console that you use every day. You have a partner portal, separate. You have your content for education, separate. You have your certifications, separate. You have your MDFs and these sales investments that you do sometimes with your account managers, separate. Although there's an indirect correlation towards that we would like to stimulate, it's of course not scalable. And there's a lot of things that we cannot do. We have more than 20,000 MSPs worldwide. You cannot serve them all in the same way of how we do it today. But with AI, we've changed that. We are launching now a new partner program that basically integrates fully in our core stack of our foundation of cyber cloud. Visual in the console. You saw it already in the demo. It is already there. And what does it do? It brings all the key components that you do to manage your business, also from a business perspective, commercial perspective, into and correlated towards your technical needs. That means you can see which certifications you have done. You can see how many credits based on your growth you've gotten. You can see how much MDF you have available that you can apply to actions and promotions that you would like to do to help to accelerate your business. You can also see how all of this works together and interact. Yuri, show how a connected partner program looks like.
Of course. And the moment you open partner program in this beautiful console, 3 things are clear to you right away. Where you stand, what opportunities are in front of you, and what are the next actions that create the biggest impact. And again, everything is integrated. There are no separate portals. There are no disconnected reports. And the program rewards the growth continuously. As you grow month on month, you generate credits. redeemable value towards products and services. So the growth generates value, value generates more growth. And closing new deal does not just mean to increase in revenue. It generates market development funds automatically. You see rewards available, submit your claims, no approvals to chase, full self-service. And successful programs were not only built around companies, were built around people. Sorry, I will repeat. And successful programs were not only built around companies, they were built around people. Every certification, every deal, every contribution, it earns a recognition. Individuals are rewarded, companies are getting stronger. And the partner program, it should be a dialogue and not one-way communication. And I'm very happy to say that we will be bringing a roadmap voting capabilities into the partner program. I know it's something many of you have been asking us to bring for years, so I'm very happy to announce that it's coming. You will be able to cast your vote, and you will be able to see how it progresses through our roadmap. Transparent, visible, actionable. And what you have seen today is more than a partner program. It is a single connected experience that engages and accelerates your business and maximizes your growth. So it's the best time to be Acronis partner program. Sorry, Acronis partner. Back to you, Jose.
Thank you, Yuri. So today's announcement is not about 5 different products or solutions that we're launching. It's an integrated model that helps you to operate more efficiently. And the key goal is for Console that everything is in one overview that you can manage your business in. With intelligence, with all the information between all the different services, because of the foundation is where we build on top with our AI. We can interact and learn and make decisions and put actions on the table that makes it more efficient to work on. With Service Desk, we can truly go to the autonomous way in an even next generation. You can decide of how issues can be resolved by itself. With Studio, you stay in control. Every MSP is different, and it means you want to customize the way of how you serve your customers or internally efficiently as well. Studio will make that happen. And last but not least, we want to make sure that you accelerate together with us. Our partners is our community, and our community is our success. And that's why our partner program needs to be much more closer towards what you're doing, and we would like to help and serve, accelerate more partners moving forward in a much more autonomous way as well. In May, we discussed our plans, our roadmap for the future. Today, we have showed you some of our key unique things that are available today or available very soon. But AI, as you've seen, moves incredibly fast. That's why already we're announcing today our next event in this series as well in October. Why? Because we know what we are going to launch in that event already today. AI is helping us to be as fast as we can be in this particular era, to help you to be even more modern in the way of how you operate your business. So I'm super excited to see what this journey will bring, and I'm very excited that we have this journey together. Over to you, James.
Thank you, gentlemen, very, very much. Next, let's have a look at how autonomous IT impacts the broader channel. Dialing in from the road, we have Rob Ray, CVP of PAX 8.
Thank you very much, James. Very happy to be here today and participate. Obviously, really important time in the managed services space, in all of our spaces, going through another influx of change. This whole idea of going from managed services over to AI, what we're calling managed intelligence. Managed services is changing again. That's something that's been really consistent in this space for pretty much since I've been here, for at least the last couple of decades. It's always changing. There's always a new wave. There's always something else for us to be thinking about as far as different products and services that we're going to be able to deliver to our end users. We've seen this throughout the course of time where we went from being resellers to managed service providers, and then we started implementing cloud solutions, and then we started implementing cybersecurity solutions, and now AI or managed intelligence. I mean, it's coming, it's something that's inevitable, but there's a bunch of good news stories that are here. The small medium business market globally has never been bigger. It's never been growing any faster than it is right now. IDC came out with numbers last year that says that the total addressable market for small medium business IT is it's over $700 billion US dollars. That is actually higher than the enterprise space, which is something that has never happened in the history of sales, much less sales in the SMB and IT space. So there is more business to be had. There's also more SMBs out there than ever before. As we see AI evolving these businesses, as we see AI replacing jobs in the enterprise space, these people are starting small businesses. We're starting to see small businesses be able to compete on the enterprise level without having to invest in as much as what enterprise businesses have had to. So there's more small businesses, and they're spending more than ever before. There are numbers that say that there's 40 million small businesses out there in the world right now. And if we think that arguably 90,000 MSPs, that means that there's 440 small businesses for every MSP that's out there. That's pretty good business because there's not many MSPs that are servicing that large of a market. So more business to be had, more money to be had, more businesses to serve, and AI is only going to add more and more to that. So how are we actually going to transition? And one of the things that I think that is really special about this space is how much we actually work together on things, not just MSPs to vendors and vendors to MSPs, but how much MSPs work with MSPs. And this journey here with AI isn't going to be about tools. There's lots of things and different aspects that we need to think about, different than what we've had to do traditionally in the past. The good news is that things like cybersecurity, for example, started changing the way in which we interact with our end users. We started being more consultative. We started working better with them and looking at more outcomes as opposed to just selling them another tool or adding margins and selling them tool. AI is going to be a lot about that. It's going to be about business outcomes. So as an MSP, as vendors that serve MSPs, we have to start thinking in many, many different ways, like how are we going to buy technology? How are we going to sell technology? How are we going to position it? How are we going to ongoing manage it? How are we going to make sure that there's recurring revenue moving forward? Are we going to be building solutions or are we going to be brokers of solutions? And both of them are also acceptable, whether you're finding agents that are pre-built, very similar to what Acronis has been doing and what we've set up in our AI store, or are you going to be building these on your own and actually selling these customized agents to your actual end user. So there's a lot going on from that perspective. All good conversations, but all conversations we have to have. We at Pax8 have been investing quite a bit into this journey. We've been asking our vendors and working with a lot of our vendors to start investing in this actual journey to help our partners move this along and be relevant and continue to stay relevant. And, I mentioned our agent store already. I'll bring it up again, but our agent store is one of those places where vendors can actually put pre-built agents or some of the AI technologies that they've innovated and created. And Acronis is one of the leading vendors in that actual space with us. So the timing is absolutely really good for you to start looking at and venturing down into these types of services that we're all offering. So just to wrap this up, there is no doubt that we are in the middle of a massive shift, a shift in the way in which we're all doing business, a shift in a way in which we all engage with our end users, even the way us vendors engage with you as the managed service provider community. The good news is more business than ever before to be had, more money is being spent than ever before. And I think that we've all been prepping for this journey in one way or another through strengthening the relationships that you have with the small business community, strengthening the relationships and the maturity of those relationships, where you've become more of that trusted advisor. People are actually coming to you for business outcomes as opposed to just tools. So we're all ready for that journey. I think that there's lots of great opportunity for us to learn. And we're all on different parts of that learning journey right now. You just got to stop and pay attention and look for support in that actual space. But it is there to be had. It's there from your vendor partners like us, and super excited to be part of this journey. And James, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Rob. Last but not least, dialing in to connect this all together, Chairman of the Board, Warren Adelman.
Thank you, James. It's great to be here and to hear all of the speakers focus on subjects that are so important at this juncture in the market, where artificial intelligence is indeed changing how we work. The managed services market is projected to exceed $1 trillion over the next decade. Every announcement today, every speaker touched on key elements that enable Acronis partners to capture this once-in-a-generation opportunity through autonomous MSP operations. We've already witnessed how quickly AI is evolving. What started with chatbots now includes revolutionary AI-native applications, autonomous agents built for businesses and personal use, and MCP servers that together can access data, connect to business systems, and perform tasks on behalf of users. But while our research and conversations within the MSP community continue to point to the scarcity of qualified talent to fill positions at our companies, only 1 of 10 has implemented agentic workflows into their core tools and processes today. So why the gap? Many of us who have worked with and fielded our first agentic solutions, or even code building tools, have come to learn that the road can at times be challenging. Security and governance questions arise, and in the end, businesses need absolute visibility and control over what AI tools and agents can access, what actions they can take, and how policies are enforced across the business-to-customer ecosystem. MSPs and IT teams grapple with a legacy of disparate infrastructures, tools, and applications. Getting data from one system and acting upon that information in another context was a human problem yesterday and will be an agent problem tomorrow. Bolting on AI tools is complex, with data sources and execution surfaces spread wide. Agents need not only be built, integrated, and tested for controlled autonomous execution, but continuously maintained and the data sources managed within the proper context. To accelerate the journey to AI-driven autonomous IT operations, MSPs need a unified services operating system, an AI-native platform to protect, manage, and automate all IT environments for their customers, one that helps them develop applications, one that hosts and manages infrastructure. MSPs need one that does all of these things in a connected space, natively integrated with AI and with each other. This kind of native integration is no longer just for human productivity. Now it forms the foundation for AI agents as well, automating processes that span controls from discovery to recovery in connected and compliant workflows and as part of the service desk. In this way, we can leave toil to the agents, liberate our valuable human talent to the most important tasks, and let them use their skilled human judgment in critical circumstances. And as we've heard today, infrastructure is no longer a separate line of business. It's integral to deliver business outcomes for our customers. Managed sovereign cloud services to host legacy systems, custom applications, and now increasingly AI with private LLM and RAG environments. The same is true for workflow and process automation. They are no longer an additional layer of technology bolted on top, requiring time and skill to manually connect triggers and actions. They are built in, grounded in a common data model, an execution layer, and powered by AI, agentic, persistent, and working 24/7, while our technicians are focusing on delivering outstanding experiences for our customers. It was really exciting to learn about the agentic capabilities Acronis Cyber Studio will bring to this. And application development is no longer the domain of ISVs alone, but a growing line of business for MSPs enabled by AI, integrated into MSP service operations for business outcomes that are tailored to specific needs. I cannot think of a change where we have integrated and intertwined ourselves so deeply with a new technology, as we are now going to be doing with AI and agentic technology. This journey will be an agentic journey from top to bottom, and it's happening fast. And this journey to autonomous IT is the largest market opportunity for service providers in a generation. We want Acronis to continue to be your partner on that journey. Back to you, James.
Thank you so much, Warren. By now, you all may have caught a little bit of wind that we're quite passionate about accelerating innovation here. In May, we introduced our vision for CyberFrame, as well as the AI vision. Today, we're on stage showing you exactly how it works, the Cyber Console prototype, cyber compliance, as well as our AI service desk. Now, we're not stopping here. We're going to bring you all back together in October. We'll show you the Cyber Console, Cyber Intelligence, and Cyber Studio in real time. So really, it's not that distant of a future. We're building it now. And what you're about to see is only the beginning. So you may be asking, what next? Well, I really think the question is, are you ready? If you are, sign up as a partner, activate Cyberframe, and start building with Constructor Fabric. With this, you'll get free access to Acronis Service Desk, and maybe one of you will be the first one to register for our next event. I think that's a pretty cool title. But until then, why don't you let us know what you would like to focus on next? For those who are joining us virtually, feel free to click on the poll. And for those of you in the room with us today, I haven't forgotten about you. Please scan the QR code, you get the same options. But until next time, I'm James Cyberbeard Abercrombie, and I appreciate you all for joining us for this edition of Acronis Accelerate.